Yeah.
Tim, I have to tell this story, and I'm almost embarrassed to tell it from when I was in seventh grade. So the teacher came up with a project. She wanted us all to write a short story. And I was super excited because I wanted to write. I was like, oh man, this is great. I love, like you said, we grew up watching movies and short stories, everything. My family is storytellers, the whole deal. So I wrote this story and I was like, I'm really gonna write something with like a twist and it's gonna be good. Like I was basically gonna be M. Night Shyamalan with this movie, right? And so I write this story and I don't remember like the name of it, but it's basically this guy, and my teacher reads the first like half of it. He reads the first half, or she reads the first half of it, and it's like, and like I wrote this story, I wrote it all night. I spent all this time on it, writing it, and she goes, "This is the first half." She's like, "This is amazing! Like, wow! Like this is what I'm talking about." And she starts to read it to the whole class. And I'm in seventh grade, Tim. Maybe I was 12 years old. And so she's reading this story, and it's about this guy. And I remember the story. He's walking home and he's just thinking about how great life is and how happy he is. And he's like walking by the white picket fence and he rubs his hand along the picket fence and he comes into his house and he finds out that his family has been murdered. Right? So he comes in and he finds out his family's been murdered. And so then he goes on and like he goes on this tear or whatever, and he's it's such like it's such a like, oh my gosh, he had this perfect life. He was thinking about doing all these things. He comes home and his whole family's murdered. And at the end of the at the end of the story, he takes a gun and shoots himself in the head.
Dude.
And she read the story to the whole seventh grade class. And it's like I was in vivid, like as he put the gun into his mouth, he realized
That's terrible. It's awful.
she's reading it
You
and
wrote
like
this?
in the seventh grade. And she's reading it and you can see the look on her face as she's reading it like, what did I just read to this classroom of seventh grade Catholic school kids about a guy coming home, finding his whole family murdered, and then committing suicide?
What the fuck, dude? What the hell? What kind of childhood did you have?
It was a rough childhood, Tim.
Your goddamn mother, the Italian mother.
They
She
don't
kept
make
up.
water ice like they used to. Oh my gosh. Well,
Ugh,
that's certainly a brain note I didn't think I was going to be pulling out of the catalog today. Woo!
uh,
What an episode, Timmy. I think that's a great way to wrap up our 1 year anniversary episode, with what a story. She said I reminded her, I think, of this author called O. Henry that used to always have a twist at the end of his stories, but I don't think she saw that twist coming. Mrs.
oh boy.
Polanski, if you're still alive, what a teacher she was.